So I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah,
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Alright, welcome to Versus a Game. I'm the Minion.
And I'm Meowgid. Meow meow meow. Hi guys!
And today we're sort of going to be playing Sonic CD.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Well, we had a lot of technical issues and...
Yeah, there's been a lot of issues trying to get the new recording systems and all that up to speed, and we're kind of learning and going as we, figure things out. But, Sonic CD was, I figured, a good one to start off for coming back. Unfortunately, it had a lot of issues, and you'll find out a little bit later why we didn't actually go back and just replay the game again. It's kind of fun, I think, but you'll see when we actually get into the game. And then, so Sonic CD was, I know it came out before Sonic and Knuckles.
Well, it's a 1993 platform game for the Sega CD. It's a console that's highly overlooked because a lot of stuff came out on that one that wasn't so good.
Yeah.
As compared to like the Genesis and the Dreamcast. Yeah. Honestly, those two were the best Sega consoles in my eyes.
Yeah.
Which like Master System was third best. But honestly, the 32X and the CD,
they were kind of throwaway add-ons.
Yeah, they were just add-ons, and they weren't. I think Sega missed the bar on that. They should have really just like come up with like how Dreamcast was, just put that CD out there.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that like they've tried to start putting like full motion videos with like CD quality audio and stuff on there, and like you'll see like when we get to the end of levels and stuff, like how they kind of try to beef things up, but it's essentially still kind of an old Sonic game, and it's just really weird. Like even though this came out before Sonic and Knuckles, I didn't want to go and do this one yet because to me it's kind of like the alternate universe type like feel to it.
Honestly, okay, I think this intro part, like, even though it has like the old cartoon feel of it and stuff like that, I think it was just something they kind of threw in there. I didn't think it was that important to the game, because...
Yeah, because, I mean, it doesn't really establish anything new as the world or anything.
I mean, it didn't have any, like, storyline. It just showed him running and jumping and then going on the chain, and that was pretty much it. There was no, like, showing that the girlfriend was kidnapped or anything, which I'll get into that later. But
yeah,
it's like none of the storyline that's actually in this game, which isn't really any new storyline, to be quite honest, isn't put into that intro. So the intro was just, oh, let's show off what we could do with the Sega CD. But it was like the arbitrary points.
I mean, you can see that they still basically start off in the like Green Hill Zone type of area and stuff like that.
It's the same. It's Sonic,
which is good for like the to me the I guess the core of Sonic. You always start off in like the nature green zone and whatever, and there's the enemies, and
then you work towards more of the technologically advanced and like purely like robotic zones, which makes sense, and I like the fact that the original Sonic started that, and
it
was
actually
this already
makes you
me
feel
playing?
Like this one's you playing.
Oh, okay.
It feels like this journey, but like here's like this weird 3D like kind of addition to it. It's, I don't know, it like some of it bugs me. Like that right there is what kind of bugs me.
Oh god, this was like so, I don't know, it didn't make sense to me. Like, why the past and the futures shit? Like this game like confused me on all sorts of levels. Like not only the intro like confused me, But even though like they stuck to their normal like zones and stuff like that they had,
yeah,
the fact that they had to throw in the past and the future and
and they have like that parallax scrolling that they go like mode 7 type for here. Like I feel like I'm playing F-Zero, not Sonic.
I know, and then this one, I honestly, this is the part where I kind of wish we had the original audio, because here I'm losing my shit. I'm going like, oh my god, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Yeah. Oh my god!
I still have some of the audio. A lot of the webcam and audio from the first recording just got dumped, and like I don't know what happened with the recording. So now we're going to like new recording systems and stuff like that. But yeah, during this part, we were just like, what are we supposed to be doing? And like, I was like, I don't know, there's UFOs. I was like, try jumping into them. And it was just, yeah, they're like, at least the other kind of, the special stages, they're like, oh, collect the Chaos Emerald in the middle, run and collect rings.
I'm kind of glad, though, for one thing, that that audio, like, we don't have the original audio. And like, because I was also chewing him out a lot during this. Because I was freaking out. I was like, oh my god, look up, sweetie! Look up what the fuck I'm supposed to do, because I'm fucking clueless on this one. And then he's all like, oh my god, I can't find it fast enough. Like, take pity on me. And I'm being a total bitch. I feel bad for it.
Well, I don't know. Like, my first initial thing was like, I don't know, jump into the UFOs while I look for it. And I was like,
I know he had it right in his mind, but I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. I don't know. Like, for me, if something doesn't click, it doesn't click. And for some reason on this one, like, things were not clicking. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah. And a lot of the stuff in this one wasn't as intuitive. But I think a lot of what bugs me about this one, and why I say like it's the alternate universe, is I think we touched on it like a lot in the original video that we did, was that you always are saving the like woodland creatures and stuff like that. But
God.
I mean, you just saw, you like killed 2 enemies there, and like
they turned to fucking flowers. Was a fucking joke. Okay, so that was another thing in the original thing. While I'm playing this, I'm having a freaking breakdown because I'm like, what the fuck? Why are these enemies turning into these fucking flowers? Like, seriously, Sega. Like, seriously. Okay, I'm gonna go on to major rant mode, so I apologize for this beforehand, and if you want to fast forward a little, you can. But I'm gonna fucking rant about this, because honestly, if I'm gonna defeat an evil villain that can move around freely, and they turn into cute little woodland creatures, I think I'm saving them. In this one, they're freely moving agents on their own, and then you hit them, and then they turn into a freaking, like, stationary flower, and I feel like I just imprisoned this free-roaming spirit into a stationary flower that cannot move and cannot do anything. And then I feel fucking bad. Like, I feel like I'm the villain in this fucking game. Not the hero, the villain. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then that was another thing, this, like, whole future past thing, which I don't mind that, like, they're trying to build, like, on levels and stuff like that.
I think they were trying to be, like, unique and do try something new out. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah. What I take issue with, though, is that for me, Sonic's supposed to be about speed.
Yeah.
And, like, going through levels and stuff like that. Where here, it's like, okay, I hit one of those signs, and once I get up to speed, it stops me in my tracks and makes me go to a different, like, version of the level.
I know, and you'll see it, like, later on, like, where, like, you'll speed through, and say you get future, it, like, shoots you into the future thing. So you're in this, like, transitional space, so you're having to wait and be like, I'm supposed to speed through this shit. And then you go to the future part, and then you hit a past sign, and then you speed up again, and then it, like, does the thing again and sends you to the past, and you're just like, fuck. Well, yeah. What was the issue with that? Why the fuck did I have to do that?
Yeah, to me, it just, like, stops you dead in your tracks when you're like, all right, I'm going to get this momentum going, and I'm going to be, Sonic and haul ass through the level, and it just was like, what happened? I was gonna hit it, and there I am, and then like here's like I think the future kind of like
we're gonna
setting
start getting like the technology thrown into the nature. But the thing is, like, and we didn't touch upon this, was like in the last level, I remember like I was pissed off because I didn't get the Chaos Emerald from the first go, but I got the 50 rings in order to open that up. And the last act, I didn't get 50 rings, so I was pissed off. So I was like, God damn it! And I was going nuts over that. I'm like, I'm getting mad at him, even though it's like my fault. And like,
yeah, I will say the bosses in this seemed a little bit easier than like some of the other Sonics.
Now, you talk for yourself. But this one, I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Hit him in the titties? I
mean, he's got star pasties. See? So I
was like, what the fuck am I saying? I couldn't figure out how to hit him. And then finally I was like, you know what? I don't fucking care if I get hurt. I'm gonna fucking go in there and do this shit, Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was still a little bit more to like actually figure out, but I mean, look how easily you were able to like, oh, okay, now I know.
Once I was like, screw it. Because I thought he was going to, okay, yeah, maybe what you're saying is true, because I could have beat him even faster if I had just, like, not give a fuck.
And then,
because
goddamn flowers.
No goddamn flowers. And then... yeah, so like...
Yeah, that's all I complained about the entire time.
I know it was like, well, I was pissed off about the Chaos Emeralds, but I was also like, I felt, because I didn't want to focus on, okay, and then this is where we get some story. I died.
Yeah, we ran right in.
I was more difficult than the boss. But like, and then I like slowly walk in, and then I'm like, who the fuck is this chick? I started getting pissed at her. Like, what the fuck, girl? Like, leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone.
At first I thought it was Amy, but I'm like, I don't think that's Amy. And then I was like, well, maybe it's one of those characters from the cartoons like we were talking about. But I was
then I moved around so fast, I didn't see her getting picked up here.
Yeah.
But, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, but yeah, I was like, I don't know who that character is. I was like, granted, there's no introduction like when you play Sonic and Knuckles.
They had the chance to throw in an intro.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I'm still like, but it's always like the whole damsel in distress thing that we were talking about.
Oh God, we were touching upon that at another point. But no, yeah, like the whole damsel in distress thing. Oh my God, that trope is so like tiresome.
Yeah. Like,
it's annoying. It's annoying I would say it's annoying to women, but I notice it's also annoying to men because they hate that. What the fuck, girl? Like, how much shit people talk about Princess Peach for. Like, her alone, like, yeah, it's a tiresome trope that nobody likes.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that trope. Heads up.
Yeah, so I think that's what... Like the whole thing of like we were talking about, the Sega CD is like they try to do like a whole bunch of stuff that, I mean, granted it's like you kind of have to do things that are a little out of the box and stuff like that to try and see what's gonna work.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, you don't have any guarantee when you develop a game of how successful it's going to be, because a lot of times what it is you can either try the tiresome old way of doing things and then get called out for it, and then have your game do okay in the market so that way you can recoup the cost, but it's not going to be groundbreaking or phenomenal and recognized later on.
Yeah.
However, if you throw new shit in, you
still have to keep the elements that make that character who they are. Like,
yes, of course.
Sonic, like, that was the whole thing. Is like Sonic was all about speed, and we're like, okay, every time we get up to speed, it's like it slows us down, it stops us, it keeps us from basically being Sonic.
Well, the thing that I think this is a good topic to touch on. We're like not paying attention to whatsoever to my playing, because honestly, it's just terrible.
I honestly don't even know if it's me or you playing, because we were both just like, okay.
We did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say this, but we kind of were just kind of ticked at like the changes they did make to this game.
Yeah.
But interesting topic discussion while we're on it. Okay, so then what about Mario when they changed like a lot of elements in that game? Like at least in Sonic, they kept the levels the same. Like they followed that dynamic of starting off from nature, going to robotic territory, and they kept that consistent in all their games, even though they would change elements here and there to make it a little bit newer and fresher. But with Mario, which has stayed more relevant, I would say, than any other game in the industry, and they changed dramatically with almost every freaking game that they came out, and it's, even though didn't have the same levels, didn't have, actually like got rid of like probably like I would even say like up to 75% of their old game like elements, the old gaming elements they had in the previous game, everyone would still argue, well, it's still Mario. Yeah. And like, I mean, look at Super Mario 1 and how they switched dramatically to Super Mario 2 from going to side scroller to going to vertical. And also not having to save the princess, having the princess part of the group, having multiple like people you can choose from, and then you introduce new enemies that are like not that many, like Koopas were in the second one. Yeah. And stuff like that. And you're just like, okay, what the fuck is this shit? But you still went along with it, and you still believed it to be Super Mario.
Yeah, it still, at least at its core, kind of had the feel of Mario. You know what I mean?
Like you still Mario in it. But then later on, you have Yoshi that comes into play, and then Wario and other characters you're playing as.
And this, like, I was really hopeful for this because of like how it looked, how everything. It just seemed like it was a kind of like a polishing of like the way that things looked, and like, you know, like when they do a remake of a game and stuff like
here, that. This
and yeah, I was like, and then it happens so much, and it's like that basically is what kept killing the feel for me.
I mean, I kind of I will say this. I don't like to say too negative. So I will says the woman who rants all the fucking time. Right. But shut up. And I will say this though. I can appreciate that they wanted to do, like, show off the fact that they could do the same level in a different way, which I think actually did create a cool idea for a later Sonic game that was actually done more successfully. And I think that if they hadn't done this, that they wouldn't have used it in that game later on. And I'm glad for it, because that game later on, I like how they did that. Yeah. But that's another issue. We'll get into that when we play that future Sonic game. Yeah, which is a modern Sonic game.
Yeah, and I mean I do like appreciate that they're not just like redoing, like, because to me, Sonic 3 is a lot just of Sonic 2 with, like, you know, okay, let's add in this little spin kick thing and whatever, stuff like that. But well, they improved the way that they did.
They changed up. Yeah, they changed it up, and the Chaos Emeralds are done differently too. And, yeah. But I think it also, like, the fact that Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles kind of blend into each other. Yeah. I think is confusing for a lot of players, because you can get it like separately.
Yeah, I just explain it as DLC, and then we're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah, well, now it's easy to think of it that way, but back then, there was no DLC.
Yeah, it was like,
so that was like cartridge. Modern, that was like technically groundbreaking in a way. Yeah. Because it was like something new, I'd never been done before, and do you think that was what caught, like, do you think that's like the original ancestor of DLC?
The, like, lock-on technology and stuff like that?
Or, like, well, kind of, but, like, the the idea that Sonic Knuckles was added on to Sonic 3. Do you think that was like the grandfather or grandmother of
I think it kind of in a way, I think what initially started it off in that direction would be like the Game Genie. Because to me that was like altering your game in a way so it played completely differently. You know, whereas...
Well, that was more cheats, honey. That's more like the Konami code.
Well, no, I mean like... Because, like, there's DLC that, like, oh, it gives you this and it gives you that.
Oh, was there on Game Genie?
But they're, like, more like mods. You know what I mean?
On Game Genie? Mm-hmm. You could do that? You could mod on Game Genie?
Yeah, well, like, you could figure out codes and stuff like that. Because it would basically...
Well, technically it was a mod, but it was also, like, a cheat.
Yeah.
Because, like, I think, like, any game developer will tell you, okay, and a lot of people don't talk about it, is that in every video game... There's hidden stuff put on there for game developers to test their own product out. So they create like, say for example, was it Fallout 76 got into trouble for it because someone learned how to hack into that room for the game developer to test out, and they found the NPC, and they found all the weapons and stuff in there. That's what I think of those cheat codes as being like. That's what I think Game Genie is. It's a way to hack into the game to find out where all the stuff is hidden that the game developers had to use to test out the games. I don't consider it DLC in my mind. Like I don't consider it technically a mod, as more of a hack.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically that's all a mod is. It goes and finds a specific code and like changes it for this, that's what the Game Genie did. Except you kind of had to more like mess around with it in order to try to figure out how to do that, whereas like a mod you kind of know, okay, this is the code I need to look for and fix it, you know, and then somebody else can download it, you know. Whereas a DLC is like it's specifically either from the company, you know, or like specifically made for like just that game, and it's here, this is extra quests and like things that we added on that we didn't have time to get to but we wanted to polish, which is what it should be.
What it should be. And unfortunately, a lot of developers are using that
to get like horse armor, and it's like
yeah, it's all microtransaction bullshit, which is like bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, no gamer in their right mind goes, "Oh, microtransactions, yeah, give me some more."
Yeah.
I mean, they'll support it, yes, of course, because they'll find something that they think is worth the money to spend on the microtransaction, but they'll still honestly probably complain about it later on. I mean, I've done that shit where I've spent money on video games.
Yeah.
Just to get like something cool that I thought was cool enough to spend the money on, and then later on I would have like buyer's remorse, and then I would complain about it and be like, why did I spend my last $5 on this stupid shit that's all digital, you know, and it doesn't help my life.
Yeah, I think that was me playing right now.
Oh,
was
it?
And that was where I finally just was like, okay, I think that was the point where we were just like trying to hand it to each other in the opposite way. In the opposite way of how we would always play and be like, oh, okay, it's like, yeah, you know, it's my turn and let me see how I can do in this or whatever. It was just, you want to try? I guess. It was like, I can't even like, I mean, those are a couple of the things that like, you know, hit on this game, and I'm like, I really don't want to like just complain about it, and I feel like I don't want you guys to like think, oh, we're just ranting because like, you know, but that's kind of like a thing that also happens with us as gamers, is like sometimes we hold too much to like what we think our game is supposed to be, that we don't allow, you know, developers to be like, oh, let's try to do this. And while I see this as kind of a misstep, it's
definitely,
it's still kind of a misstep in the right direction. It's like,
well, yeah, it's not a terribly horrible. Sorry, I was merging words. Terribly horrible idea for them to do. Like, honestly, I could see how this benefit, like I said, later generation Sonic games. I could see where this caused them to do really cool things that I think they needed to do. And like, we'll get into it, is Sonic Mania. And you'll see later on when we play it. Shout out to Broken Mike. He plays a lot of Sonic Mania too, and you could check out his channel, and it's really cool. But we'll also end up playing it because I really want to play that game so bad, because I think they did what they were trying to do in this game, but a lot more successfully.
Yeah. See, and then where was my anxiety music there?
I know. So, like, oh God, don't get me started.
But, like, yeah, I think it's the thing that, like, they changed a lot of elements, and the unfortunate thing is a lot of the elements that they changed ended up conflicting in a way that it kind of took you out of the game.
Yeah. And it did. Like, I really think...
Because I feel like visually it has the same feel.
Yeah.
In start-offs, like where I do the spin dash and I get to go and all that, it feels like Sonic. But then once I do certain things, it's like, it just takes me right out. You know?
Yeah.
And that, to me, that's like where I felt like it failed. And... like, for everything else, I'm like, okay, I like, I could jump into these, I could still do my platforming and try to get, through the level and, like, make through the maze of little areas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I genuinely enjoy, even though I don't pay attention to it probably as much as I didn't realize that I do, when I hit an enemy and I see the little, like, monkey or the seal, like, oh, there goes the seal through the lava, and I was like, apparently he can't get burned, like, I don't know, just
right? Oh my God,
things like that.
But it was cute. I thought it was, like, endearing, that little, like, non-attention to detail.
Right? And I think we even touched on it in Mario. It's like there's a little frog that's jumping in the corner. It's like, what does it do? It's just background, but it adds nice aesthetics to the game.
It's endearing. It makes it's part of, like, I don't know. I get endeared to things and I get made fun of a lot for it, and rightfully so, but I get endeared to things that are just, like, random and weird. And so, like, that little seal, I was like, oh, that seal's a trooper. Oh, that seal has my heart, even though the seal does nothing.
Right? And it's like those little things. And just like how we said, it's like you don't realize that something's wrong unless it's wrong. If it's right, you don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens a lot in this one, is that the things that are right with it, I'm, like, not as, I guess, paying attention to it as much.
Oh my God, I do have to appreciate that.
Yeah.
When you had the shooting and you managed to go between them, I think that was you.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that was, like, crazy. Like, I don't know how you did that timing, sweetie, and I have to appreciate you for that. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, the things that are, like, those nice little, like, oh, like, yeah, I did this and my bubbles, whatever. It still gives me anxiety when I start seeing the countdown, but I don't hear the noise, and it doesn't give me that sense of urgency of I need to find air, like how it does in the other ones.
I do have to say, I got confused by those things. Like, I didn't understand why they had so many of those, but it's because it does it gets you up to the speed, which is, like, was it 88?
Yeah, it's like 88 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's Back to the Future thing. Yeah. And I think we're covering up the achievement unlock thing. Where it says, like,
I'm probably moving
88.
Yeah.
88 miles per hour. But,
yeah, so, I don't know. Like, I mean, I still feel there's, like, a lot of good elements here, but just the ones that they put in that just, like, to me is what breaks the game.
Oh.
Yeah, see, and then, like, every once in a while we were having just issues with it, like...
Oh, God. Yeah, sorry. So sorry. And that's another reason why we took the hiatus, was that way we could figure out how to do all this stuff in case we had hiccups like these.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Yeah,
and I'm sorry that we're just like, Oh, fuck this shit. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, I'm getting better at it, and it was like, yeah, had this happened and the game was more of the Sonic feel, like, you know what, let's go back, let's do it again. But this game rubbed me the wrong way, in a way that I can't describe. Like, playing it's I don't know, it's kind of like you're waiting for this game for like the longest time, being like, oh yeah, this is gonna be so badass, and then you get it to play it and you're like, this is not what I signed up for.
What the fuck is this shit,
Yeah.
Yeah, oh god. Back in the day when I was a kid and you're just like, oh, you have your hopes up so much.
E.T. is gonna be the most awesome game of 1984.
Said no person ever.
I don't know.
Oh my god, sweetie. Triggered.
But I mean, that's just...
Are you purposely trying to trigger me?
I don't know. What is people's thing now?
Oh my gosh.
Anthem and
Fallout 76. Fallout 76 is a very good example of that. Because there were a lot of people going, oh my god, this game is going to be awesome. I was even one of those people, like, I can't wait until it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
But I always, like, wait before I buy a product, just in case, because I'm old. And I've had a lot of whatever. And shut up, we'll just say I'm older than you.
Okay.
And I've had so many experiences where I bought something right out the door and it fucking pissed me off because I would find out there are still bugs in it. And then I realized, you know what? Gaming industry is not perfect. No. They aren't.
And sometimes it's funny to find some of the bugs and things like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, granted, because I do the whole waiting thing, I don't get to experience, like, the first things and play around with them, and how some people actually had their videos go, like, viral because they witnessed those glitches and stuff like that, or they broke a boundary that they didn't know that they were going to break. But still.
Yeah, I mean...
But I like to wait it out and see if there is any issues with something before I purchase it. So when I started seeing all of the Fallout 76 shit hit the fan, and then hit the fan again, and hit the fan again, and it was like over and over and over. It was like, come on, seriously, Bethesda, get your head out of your fucking ass.
Yeah, in its current like iteration, I don't see myself going to get it, which I was like really excited to be like, oh, I get to play online with people and stuff like that.
I wanted to get it. I own every freaking Fallout from Fallout 3. Okay, that's not every freaking Fallout, but...
Oh, we do now, because I bought the other ones.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, I love you. But
yeah, it's like, I mean, I was so... Oh, I think I'm finally going to do the...
Oh, the boss?
Yeah.
The Chaos Emerald
thing. Yeah, because we finally figured out what we were supposed to do.
I think this was the only time we made it through a future or past zone, too.
Yeah.
Because we were just like...
Yeah, and I don't see what it does. Like, I didn't see any change to, like, how the level was or anything.
It possibly could unlock some Easter eggs or something, but we are not so invested enough into this game to give a fuck. So, I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah,
Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, see, all I knew is that hit the UFOs, avoid the water, because the water, like, takes your time down or whatever that you have.
Honestly, okay, I'll go out on a limb here, and I know he doesn't agree with me on this. My favorite Chaos Emerald play is in Sonic 2.
Well, to me, that is the most fun. I think
because it's agreeable with everyone. I think all you have to do is mesmerize the patterns of the bombs. That's all you have to do, and collect the coin. Like, be in the right spot at the right time to collect the rings. Sorry, coin rings.
Yeah.
Hot. That's me. Okay, my bad.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it is the most fun, and especially when you have two people. It is the most enjoyable because, like, you go that way, I'm going to go this way, I'll take care of this side, you take care of that.
Teamwork.
Yeah, because Sonic 3, it's very much just whoever's in charge is, like, that's the person doing. And it's really just memorization in that one, too. But
it's not
It's a lot more finicky on, like, I turned. Yes. No. It's like, why'd you turn into that? I was like, I didn't. I turned here. I was like...
Yeah, it's like you have to turn on a drop of a dime.
Yeah.
In order for the mechanics to work. Whereas the other one, I mean, it's a lot more forgiving.
Yeah, which I'm still going to go back in those ones and try to get the rest of the Chaos Emeralds. And then, see, I didn't understand this boss fight either. Like, what the hell?
And also, I always felt like it also had something to do with the fact that I played Sonic 2 a lot, but still.
Yeah, I mean, well, because like how I was saying, I was like, every time that we would play Sonic stuff or whatever, like, oh yeah, Sonic 3, and I'd be like, you couldn't see us drinking. You could probably hear it. And
it's probably a good thing we didn't figure out the face cam.
Yeah,
because it was a lot of drinking.
Big old shiny red face, like, I like Sonic 3.
You probably could hear it in my voice if you go back to the old videos, a little bit of slurring that would happen in those. Sweetie. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I fucking hate this shit. Look at this shit. Like, okay, that's not me drunk, but, you know, actually I get more, like, happy.
Yeah.
Well, I get ranty, too, but I get, like, a lot more comical when I'm drunk, but, you know.
Yeah, so, I don't know, I think there's so many things they could have done with this in a different way that would have made it, I guess, more agreeable to me, but I bet you there's people that are like, oh, they made these changes and stuff like that, and this is awesome. And it, you know, I guess it's more just the personal preference thing.
Yeah.
But those things are what like rub me the wrong way, like how, you know, we do the Chaos Emerald things in the first and the third one or something like that. It's like I really hate the first one.
Oh yeah.
The Chaos Emerald thing in the first one, oh my god.
But I give them leeway because that was when they were figuring out the game. Like they didn't know Sonic was going to become popular then.
Yeah, there's like no spin dash or anything like that. Because I mean, you don't think like why would I need to go out like 0 to 60 and like here we go, you know? But it makes sense when they get to the... That was a
mechanic that like people were going to like endear themselves to the game.
Yeah,
and then they finally like. And the fact that they listened enough to people for the second one and utilized that was like, all right, Sega, cool on you. You did a good thing.
Yeah.
But
I do like that even still, the actual boss, like, I think...
Oh, yeah. We were stressing out over here. There's only one more bubble left. What if we die?
Right? I'm like, I only have so much air.
Oh, no. What the hell happens if we get the countdown? We're like, oh, try to stay alive here. And then that's when it was 5, 4, and it's draining. Oh, thank fucking God.
But, like, see that right there? Even the, like, little thing doesn't look the same. But I'm like, okay, to me, that's just the semantics of, like, the thing doesn't look the same. That one thing. But... I want to save woodland creatures and watch them scurry about and be like, go be free.
I don't fucking care about the fucking flowers.
Right? I mean, like...
I want to see cute shit.
Granted, we're saving...
Cute shit.
We're saving the nature and stuff like that.
Whatever. Fuck nature. I want to see cute things. I don't fucking care. Oh, okay. That's horrible. Okay.
But I mean, at this point, the little creatures... Whoa. The little creatures that are the mechanical ones now are actually way cuter than the fact that they're flowers now. Like, what did you kill them or whatever, or you break them free? And I'm like,
I feel like I'm doing the worst favor because at least they're moving around and look how cute that snail was before I turned him into a fucking flower. And you know what? The flowers, I think also what pisses me off because the flowers look totally like digital themselves.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, so is it a real flower or is it a fucking robot flower? It looks like a robot flower to me. So I'm like, robot animal or robot flower? Which would I rather be? Yeah. I'd rather be robot animal because then I'd be cute as fuck. And then I get to move around, right?
Yeah. And for the fact that they went to the CD, right?
Cute as fuck.
To be like, oh, we're going to improve some of the graphics of this and that. Then they give me a flower that looks like every other flower.
Well, they put a bunch of flowers that all look the same together. They don't make any of them look different.
Yeah, there's no...
And they all look like robotic because of it, like how they're designed.
Yeah, at least when I was saving the woodland creatures, it's like, oh, this one was a seal. That one was a little penguin. This one, so I got some variation, and I felt like I was actually saving them.
Though I do still like those penguins, little freaking laser beam looking things attached to their foreheads, like the helmets. Oh my god, those penguins were so freaking cute. Oh my god. And they always look like they were tired of my shit. Oh my god. I love it when that things look like they're tired of my shit. Name them George.
Oh, see, they're called time stones now. They're not even chaos emeralds.
They're not even fucking chaos emeralds. What the fuck is that, Sega? I know you're like suspended in like third-party source now, but damn it, Sega!
You know what? Actually, it does feel like what you just said right now. When like a company's like, oh, we're busy making this thing, but we need this important project to be done. And it's like, here, let's give it to this other team, and then that other team's like, let's try something different, and then you're like, no, don't do that.